who returns the favour immediately, falling down for Belcher. Confidently straight into stride. Daly, an absolute swarm of St Helens players right over the top. And a penalty straight away against St Helens.
Against Groves, Graham, he came in very excessively and late.
Here it is now, Daly on the Just Jeans replay. Groves and also Bernard Dwyer over the top. Bella, his first touch. Taken strongly. Roach. Over the top was Jonathan Neal. Sirenen. Sirenen charging on the fringe of the ruck. They get to about 40 metres out, Australia. Switch of play, Langer, Daly, Meninga. Meninga, a short ball for Hancock. He ran out of space on the wing. Taken by Hunt. Langer once more. Ledner. Taken by Forber High. Loses the ball. Picked up by Griffiths. John Cartwright very late in on the tackle. And John Holsworth with the penalty to St Helens.
Referee,
nervous moments.
Referee Graham very keen. Here's the incident where Lindner dropped the ball.
He had it stripped by Rapati. Now, ball lost by St Helens. Langer picks up the Drakes. Kevin Ward lost it in the tackle. Ledner now. Charging straight ahead. Cartwright. The defence stands and waits for Cartwright. He unloads a swinging high tackle from Forber. Luckily, Kerrod Walters had ducked. Daly, Meninga, forward pass to Belcher, but a great driving tackle by Hunt. Bella. Bella is wrapped up quickly. Roach. Great tackle from Jonathan Neal. They're all fired up to St Helens 6. Daly. Over the head of Connolly. Much too strong. It'll come back to the 22.
What I was about to say a minute ago, Graham, is that the referee obviously wanted to take control from the first minute.
Now Griffiths. Neal. Cartwright flew in and missed. Beavers with the kick. Straight down the throat of Belcher. A little bit of room to move as well. He beats Griffiths. Gets outside Quirk. Stepping infield, Quirk comes from behind. Apparently, he is second only to Martin Afire here in England, as far as pace is concerned, out on the wing. Daly with an overlap with Meninga. Meninga into full stride. He's got Hancock with him. Meninga won't need anybody. He returns to Knowsley Road as skipper and picks up the first try of the tour. Mal Meninga too strong, and they stretch them out wide. So how ironic it is that he comes back today to get this first try. Daly put him outside Hunt. Hunt had come off his wing and hadn't read it properly. The cover defence stayed out. And the Just Jeans replay shows that all the cover defence was headed towards Hancock, and Beavers arrived much too late. What a side he is in full stride. And again, just watch the cover go for Hancock. But the quick hands, and Meninga easily beat Connolly to crash over.
Well, what a moment for him, Graham, to come back with all the emotion of all the great players who, of course, were paraded before the game. Had he not been playing today, he would have also been paraded. So instead, he did a parade of his own and, of course, scored the first try of the tour. What a great moment for Mal Meninga.
The skipper to try and convert his own try. about 15 metres in from the sideline. The crowd packed in here, and he just drags it to the left, only a shade. So Australia 4, lead St Helens 0.
Who's the charming, handsome young player who's got a name for being into the birds in a big way? His chicken McNuggets are ready!
So Rapati restarts the match, and he's kicked it over the dead ball line on the full. A very poor mistake. Australia get the penalty at the centre of the halfway line. It shows probably the strength of the breeze, but a bad mistake, especially when you've just had a score put on you. And so Meninga will kick for touch. Well, Benny Elias is still on the sideline. We'll be able to go down there shortly. And Benny, what a great moment for Mal Meninga and the Kangaroos.
Very befitting for Mal, you know, coming back to his old hometown where he first played his English Football League over here. It was great to see that he gets the first points for the Australian side.
Australia 40 metres out from the St Helens line. They've lost the ball. Now Groves has it for St Helens as they swing it wide, which is their penchant. This is Griffiths. Just inside St Helens territory. St Helens love trying to spread the ball, so they bring it back to the halfway through Vivers. Of course, he spent all his footballing career here, just about, Vivers. Penalty against Australia. Up inside the line, Neil and Roach came together. And Steve Roach will be very keen for a big game here after he had to be forced off the field in 1986 with a dislocated elbow. Very edgy. And St Helens now with a chance to put something on in reply to Australia's try. Cooper. This is Ward, back in the English squad, just 20 metres out from the Australian line. Cooper. Here's Ferber charging ahead. Wasn't originally in the lineup. Very experienced player. Dwyer. Cooper. Going without it was Harrison, and Australia come up with it. This is Daly. Away it comes out to Lindner. Lindner shows the ball and goes on his own, and he's well tackled, ball and all by Ferber. Daly got through the first one. Penalty against St Helens. Bit of back chat. I think Paul Forber was the one, and also Groves. Not quite sure which one, referee. Holsworth pinged them for in the end. He pointed to both. Maybe they both had a word to say. Meninga finds touch. Here comes Bella. He came from deep, and he's taken the ball within 20 metres of the St Helens line. Langer wants it. Instead, they go the blind side to Cartwright. Away it goes to Belcher. Belcher back on the inside, and he's only 10 metres away. Quick play the ball. Australians will go the open side as it comes to Langer. This is Daly. Daly spots an opening. He gets it onto Meninga. Beautifully handled by McGaw. But in the end, the ball's gone loose, and Griffiths falls on it for St Helens. Harrison. Good strong defence. First up was Daly. Walters and Roach also in there. The crowd really enjoying this game. Australia leading by 4 points to 0. They've had a great afternoon so far. The temperature's starting to drop a bit, but it really has been a very balmy Lancashire day. Groves, the kick. Remember, of course, that during this tour, they'll be playing the new 10-metre rule. So, in other words, when the kick goes downfield from downtown, Hancock back on the inside of Belcher, means the players must retire 10 metres, not 5. Hancock still going. Whereas, of course, Graham, we're used to the 5-metre rule throughout Australia. From now on, it will be 10 metres, which will be hard initially for the Australian forwards. Loose pass, Harrison with it.
That means it's all right to be a fullback in the modern day of rugby league. Kevin Ward, he went without. Rapati with the dummy, went blindside. Cooper for Griffiths. Griffiths has got no support on the outside. They're very bunched, St Helens. The Australian defence up very quickly. Groves from dummy half, a member of the 88 tour squad. back to Australia. He found Hunt out wide. Now Bella penalised for holding Alan Hunt down. A chance maybe at goal with the breeze at the backs of St Helens. Bobby Fulton and the Australian contingent look on from the stand. Beavers comes over. They stay on touch. They're going to continue to try and work this ball. Groves just waits for the ball to come back from the crowd. Jonathan Neal. They said over a year ago this man's career was over with a crippling knee injury. He battled back to be an important member of the St Helens side. Cooper. Griffiths. Meninga's up on Beavers. Daly has hit him very high. The crowd calling for John Holsworth to take strong action. Daly coughs one from Forber. Now Holsworth might use the sin bin here to try and settle things down. Laurie Daly's trying to say to him that he started around the chest. Meninga, the skipper, listens intently. They stay with just the penalty.
You know, Graham, I'm not sure that Daly didn't get a poke in the eye after that the tackle was affected. I'm not quite sure, but gee, he went, there he is, holding his eye.
Joe Rapati hooks the ball badly. The score remains the same. 4 points to 0 in favour of Australia. Justice there, I should be saying Tia Rapati instead of Joe. Now Connolly, youngest man to play in the Challenge Cup final. He's crashed to the ground by Sirinen. Forber. Talking of players who they thought careers was over, Forber announced his retirement a year ago, or I should say a week ago, because of a neck injury, and now he's back today to take on the Australians. Groves, a little trip ahead. He was held by the jumper. John Holsworth, the referee, says play on. Eddinghausen gives it to Belcher. Belcher taken by Alan Hunt. Hancock. Forber came careering through. Kevin Ward finishes off the work. Bella. Well, Benny, there's no doubting about the enthusiasm of this St Helens pack. Well, now McGaw breaks away. He beats Connolly. McGaw's got carried. Walters, he did well to hang on to it. And John Holsworth sent it forward. So in counter-attack, the Australians always dangerous. Here it is again. McGaw, well, if it was forward, it was only just.
Now St Helens with the ball down their own end of the field. This is Jonathan Griffiths back in amongst the forwards. I don't think there'd be too many that would like to get back in amongst the Australian forwards. There's no way through there at the moment. Some great defence again from Australia. Sirinen and Bella that time. Here's Neal again. He's an ungainly type of runner, but he's got it out to the quarter line. Ward takes it up strongly. Penalty against Australia about the swinging arm. Was it the hand? I'm not sure whether Bella was the culprit. I thought Sirinen was the one that the referee pointed to. Paul Sirinen penalised. That's a huge kick, but it's not going to find touch. This could be trouble. Belcher with a lot of broken ground in front of him, bringing the ball back strongly. Belcher up to the halfway line. He's found Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen streaking away down the right touchline. Is tackled and loses the ball, and Groves comes up with it for St Helens. Well, two fast men, Belcher and Eddinghausen, almost giving Australia another try. The crowd starting to get a little bit upset with Mr Holsworth's 5-metre rule. Australian bench there, the trainers rather anxiously watching this team as the enthusiastic forwards, as Ward takes it ahead for St Helens, really are applying the pressure on the Aussies. Forber can't get his pass away. He's lost it and Langer's come up with it for Australia. Walters, Sirinen, Daly, props. 10 metres out from the quarter line. Bella coming down the centre. It was Griffiths who went lower, got him initially. Penalty goes to Australia. Neil cops one from Bella after he'd already been penalised. And Meninga will have a shot at goal. Jonathan Neal. Well, they've shown a lot of enthusiasm, Graham, these forwards.
Well, they're certainly starting to put it to the Australian six. Now, watch Neil. He's been involved a lot of the play. He decides to let Martin Bella know he's around, but here is a dangerous position to do it.
Australia deciding not to have the shot at goal, keeping the pressure on. Out it comes to Cartwright. We've only seen him take the ball up twice, and both times he's made ground. He's got within a couple of metres of the line. Conley tried to rip the ball out. Walters, Langer. I'm not sure who was meant to get it, but they still might score as Belcher puts the grubber through. Conley's back there. Conley can't get it back into the field of play. Play to restart with the line drop out. Gee, they're quick to restart. Groves is still in front of the kicker. They can't possibly restart from there. Would have been suicide. It's all right to think about it, Graham, but you've still got to worry about those offside.
Well, there's no doubt in the keenness of this side. They were beaten easily last weekend, the St Helens side. A number of changes to their lineup. They're playing with plenty of character.
As Daly brings it back. Daly finds Meninga. Meninga storming down the centre. Trouble out wide now as Belcher comes down the centre again. Belcher in broken ground. Hard to believe that 24 hours ago he was in doubt with a slight back strain. Langer. The long pass finds Daly. Quick hands. McGaw to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen for the line. And Eddinghausen scores Australia's second try. Australia 8, St Helens 0. Here it is again. That's the end of the try. And the Cronulla pairing. The Just Jeans replay as Eddinghausen dives over in the corner.
Great hands here. Australia are dangerous out wide. They keep on bringing it in, and the wingers have been caught out of place. Hunt and now Quirk as Eddinghausen picks up his first try of the tour.
Andrew Eddinghausen came into the side for Dale Shearer and picks up a 4-pointer, and a great opportunity, of course, to force his way into the first test side with a good game today and possibly next weekend against Wigan. Of course, that game will also be seen on Network 10 exclusively, as will the game against Wakefield Trinity next Thursday night. Now Meninga will have the shot at goal. Just shaved the uprights with his first kick, attempting to convert his try. Meninga moves into the breeze. It holds up. Will it get over the bar? It won't. Didn't really have the strength in the end. So Australia leads St Helens by 8 points to 0. To restart this time, much more circumspect with the kick-off, ensuring that he doesn't give away a penalty, but it might have been worse because Sirenen's charging ahead. The big man gets it 30 metres out. On the sideline, Benny Elias, what are your thoughts at the moment?
Yes, Dave, I think the St Helens side's holding their own in the forward pack, that's for sure. You know, I think they're taking the Australian side tick for tack, but every time they pass that ball out wide, there's always dangerous when Mal Meninga and Gary Belcher take hand, and as we saw that good try then by Andrew Eddinghausen, it was certainly the in conflict of Mark McGaw, the inside pass.
We'll be back to Rapati now.
Well, that was an interesting penalty, Graham. We've already heard about the 10-metre rule that will be enforced when the downtown kicks on. Also, they're going to be very stringent on players getting in front of the play the ball, even when there's no downtown on, and the referee Holdsworth pinging the Australians for being within the 5 metres at the play the ball then, even though they were the attacking side.
Well, Dave, there'll also be plenty of opportunities on this tour where we won't be understanding some of the refereeing decisions and signals.
Well, that's only what I presume, but he did hold up 5 fingers and pointed at about 4 players.
Rapati, 32 metres out. They do have a strong breeze at their backs, St Helens. The last time they beat the Kangaroos was back in 1973. And prior to that tour, they had a success back in 67. Rapati drives it low and hard, but drives it wide again. Unsuccessful with both attempts. The score remains 8-0 to Australia.
Well, already St Helens showing that they can't really do without Paul Lachlan, their regular goal kicker.
Daly with the restart. That's a terrific kick into the breeze. Down to this 19-year-old fullback, Connolly. He was hit in a strong head-on tackle by Bella, and McGaw was there to assist. Harrison, this 6'8" tall second rower. Cooper. For Neil, who certainly hasn't shirked his duties. Now Holsworth with a warning to Steve Roach. Quick tap from Groves. He turned the Australians around near halfway. Cooper. Forver ducked a tackle. Full of running their forwards, keen to do plenty of work. Harrison again. Just inside Australian territory. Play has broken down a number of times, not allowing the Australians to really fall into any set pattern. That looked to be a shepherd from Griffiths.
Gee, if it wasn't, I'd like to know what one is.
Now Neil. The Tigers, the teammates of Roach and Surinam, were on hand to do the work in defence. Groves with a little chip into open space. Belcher, the ball nearly bounced away from him, and he's ruled that he knocked the ball on.
Now let's just see how Gary Belcher gets up. He seemed to get another knock in the back there. I didn't think he knocked it on at all, to be honest. You have a look at the replay, he's knocked it back.
So Groves was also working on a facial for Belcher. Cooper, taken by Langer. Kevin Ward. Langer stolen the ball. Daly gives it to McGaw. Back for Eddinghausen. So again on the break. Quick hands from Australia. Langer taken by Cooper. Bella. Bella's 40 metres out. Roach. Lidner now. Ball goes astray. Eddinghausen, just brilliant hands to flick it up for Daly. But the defence is moving up very quickly. Langer for Cartwright. Trying to get those arms free. Short swinging arm again from Neil in that tackle. Langer stepping. Langer on the last tackle was trying to break free. Groves gets away. Groves down to the 22. St Helens on the break here. Beavers wants it. Cooper. Griffiths. They've got numbers here out wide. Connolly joins in. Meninga's there. He pushed him off. He tried to get a kick in. Lidner's in possession, so Australia stretched right to the limit there for a moment as St Helens were looking to bounce back with a try. Now again, Australia penalised inside the 5 metres, and St Helens will have another great opportunity.
Yes, it's an interesting rule. Bobby Fulton must be a little bit worried about that penalty. Keith Barnes shaking his head. Can't quite work out what it's about as St Helens decide not to take the shot at goal. Harrison goes ahead. Only 11 metres away from the Australian line. Dwyer, haven't seen much of him yet. Or have we seen much of Ward? He's got the ball within 5 metres. A great opportunity for St Helens here. Groves had a busy start to the game, and he's trying to burrow his way through. Only a couple of metres away. St Helens trying to fight back. Penalty to St Helens. not allowing Groves to play the ball. A little bit of indecision there. Cooper deciding they're going to take the tap eventually. As Griffiths tries to get behind the defence, flicks it up, it's gone loose. It's still anybody's ball. The referee says play on, and Cooper's tackled only 9 metres away and 6 to go, says the referee. Here comes the St Helens forwards again, really applying the pressure to Australia. Australia leading 8-0, only about 7 metres away. Dwyer, Cooper, Ward. Ward flicks the pass out the back to Griffiths. He keeps it going. This was Dwyer, who's only 15 metres away, right in front of the goal pass. Here's Harrison. Vivas, they've got a chance out here. Rapati can't get the ball away. Quirk was on the far side with a bit of space. Forber brings it ahead. Now Quirk. And Quirk is pushed backwards in good defence by Eddinghausen. The ball on the ground, picked up eventually by Neal. This has been great defence by Australia. As Groves hoists it high, getting underneath it, Hancock. Hunt comes flying through. He goes without it. Griffiths almost picked it up before big Mal Meninga dived on it to save the day for Australia. Hancock. Hancock, gee, he's elusive. Now, there it is again as Meninga just had to save the day. Hunt went so close to plucking that out of the air. Sirenen in a bit of space. That was well created.
As we saw in 86, this is always the danger time for English clubs, where they apply the pressure to the Australians, and then all of a sudden, the Australians seem to break away again.
Now Australia get a penalty. The crowd really enjoying this. Australia have scored 2 tries, but my word, this St Helens side, which was expected to be rather meek resistance in ways to Australia today after their performance last week, have really given the Australians something to think about. Roach. Just inside St Helens territory. Bella. 10 metres. St Helens side of halfway. Langer. Daly. Meninga. He's got support. McGaw comes straight and hard. McGaw will keep the movement going as he comes back to this side of the field. Great run from Mark McGaw. Down on the St Helens quarter line. Kerrod Wallace decides to go on his own. Looks for support. Throws the dummy. Brings Hancock back on the inside. Hancock across field. If they leak up here, there's a great chance for the Australians. And Hancock tackled in great defence. That really was a good tackle across there. Griffiths, Forber over the top. Short side. Cartwright. Cartwright, the ball back on the inside. Linder, quick hands that went to Belcher. Away to Meninga again. It went across towards Eddinghausen, but he can't handle it. And the scrum will go down with a St Helens feed only 5 metres out. Now here it is again. Meninga, and you can see there wasn't much space, but I got the feeling Eddinghausen was coming back on the inside. If he'd stayed on his wing, Graham, he may have scored. Now Meninga breathing heavily. Well, the Australians have had a lot of physical work in this last week. Bob Fulton ensuring that everyone has the same level of fitness. Some of those players, of course, not having played for 6 weeks. The St Helens come up with the ball 10 metres out from their own line. A heavy tackle for Griffiths. The St Helens keep it going. This is Dwyer. Ward. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. And it's Australia leading by 8 points to 0.
And a good display from St Helens. Great chance for Groves. He just couldn't get the ball back to Cooper. He wanted to try something though. Forber for Rapati. Now Hunt. Hunt goes back infield, chased by McGaw. He'll leave him for Sirenen and also Kerrod Walters. And Walters does his best to throw the boot down towards the sideline. Now, the kick away from Belcher, breaking towards the touchline, and it's a good one. So St Helens showing that they're keen to use this breeze now. And he drives it low, Vivas. He joined Meninga back in 1984 in leaving Brisbane South to come here to St Helens. Now he lines up against his old teammate out in the centres. Holsworth wants it to be fed again. Langer waiting for this scrum to settle again. Langer's keen not to even wait for it to settle. In quickly, and he's penalised Langer. So some important penalties going the way of St Helens inside these last 10 minutes. Quick tap restart. Harrison flying over the top. Kerrod Walters. They're putting a lot into this first half, St Helens. Showing plenty of spirit. That is too strong, the kick from Griffiths. He was looking out wide for Les Quirk. The little chip for the winger, but with this breeze, much too strong. The thought was there to try and vary it, though. And I guess we think back to 1986, Ben, and it was Wigan who gave you a tough first-up match.
They sure did, and St Helens are certainly giving the Australians plenty of trouble, you know. What I'm really impressed by the fact that they just throw that ball around. Their ball control is tremendous, and they just have a go from anywhere on the field, and that's, you know, you've got to take your hat off to that.
Now, Walters switches it for Cartwright. He's played well in his first match in the Australian colours. That looked to be forward. Daly. Holsworth was in perfect position for it. Kerrod Walters looks to the blind side. Roach was there. They go back open. Now Lidner. McGaw. McGaw stands. Floats it out for his Cronulla teammate Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen back infield. Bounced off Forber. Belcher joins in. Belcher kicks infield. Kerrod Walters and Eddinghausen. Touched ahead by Kerrod Walters. Try. No knock on. The crowd thought somebody may have got a hand to it. But great support play. And a great piece of thinking by Gary Belcher for Kerrod Walters to get try number 3. So once again, the Australians on the break. The Just Jeans replay, the kick inside by Belcher. Did Eddinghausen touch it? Maybe he did, I'm not so sure. But Kerrod Walters was there on the spot. This should give us a great opportunity at it. Eddinghausen was trying to get it on the... Well, he didn't get a hand to it, so fine refereeing from John Holsworth. And a fine Australian try. Belcher has been involved in a number of breaks. He's been in great form at fullback. And Kerrod Walters showing his versatility, the pace that he's got in the forwards to be there on the spot infield to pick up a try. So Kerrod Walters joins the list of try makers first up. And Meninga still searching for a goal. Again, he doesn't add any extras. The scoreline of all tries, Australia 12, St Helens. 5 or 6 minutes to the break, is starting to make his way to the dressing rooms. They've had a couple of opportunities, St Helens. Rapati has missed with a couple of shots at goal. And let's just remember that Australia will come out in the second half with that fairly strong breeze at their backs. Sirinen. He just ran straight over the top of Shane Cooper. Roach. Dummy to Meninga. The Australians on their own 22.
So here goes the Australians again through Cartwright. Just outside the quarter line. He hasn't been able to get one of those passes away yet. When he does, it'll be dangerous. Daly, there's plenty of space down this end of the field. That's another great kick into the breeze. Conley, he doesn't seem to be playing with a great deal of confidence, I might add. Decides to return the favour, but it's not a good kick. Sirinen knocked it down, so they're all onside. Daly brings it back. Walters. Here's Meninga. On the inside, Eddinghausen. Just outside the quarter line, and this is a real danger period for St Helens. The real slick Australian side often put sides away just before half-time, and that's Langer who got in behind the defence and looked as if he was away just for a moment before Cooper and Conley stopped him. Walters, there's plenty of Australians this side. They go straight down the centre through Sirinen. Sirinen flicks it up, and Roach will score a super try. Great football, Sirinen and Roach. The crowd really did appreciate. That was good football, great handling skills, great combination from the Balmain pair. Here it is again. Sirenen on the Just Jeans replay, got his arms free, flicked it up, a difficult ball to take, and Roach picked it up magnificently to score a try.
Two big men getting together. They know each other's play so well at Balmain. He doesn't get to score too many tries. Big Steve Roach, and they usually lap it up when they do get across the line. So a try to Steve Roach gets his tour underway as well, to give the Australians a lot more confidence here, trying to the break. And those forwards starting to link a lot better, because they've played against the St Helens pack that have really given them a strong test.
And that would have made our sideline commentator very happy. Meninga, he should kick this. He does, straight over the red dot. So Australia really starting to come away with it in the latter stages of this first half. Australia 18, leading St Helens 0. So here's Australia bringing the ball back just outside the quarter line. Well, Benny Elias, that would have made you pretty happy being a Balmain boy.
It was great work. Here we go as we see Mel Meninga down the sideline again.
Here they go again. Meninga away. It goes to Hancock. Michael Hancock flying for the corner. He gets away from Conley, and Hancock's in again. Australia score their 5th try. Great stuff from Hancock, but great stuff from Meninga. Quick hands from Australia again. Back on their quarter line. Again, Sirenen involved. Got a lovely ball away to Meninga, and the big man in full flight. He gave Conley no chance. He did well, the youngster, to chase Hancock, but the flying man from the Broncos was too good to score Australia's 5th try. Look at this side. How would you like to have Mal Meninga running into like this? Young Conley did well, and Hancock racing away. Conley coming at him, but couldn't tackle him, and Michael Hancock scores the try. That'll do his confidence the world of good. What a player he is. Limited opportunities in the first half. Maybe we'll see some more in the second. Both wingers have scored tries. Meninga scored one of the centres. So Meninga with the chance to convert the Hancock try from out near the quarter line. Meninga moves in. It's well out to the right. So he hasn't brought his kicking boots with him to Knowsley Road, but he certainly brought his brilliant form. Strong running has been a feature of Meninga during the first half. Australia leading St Helens by 22 points to 0. The restart. Linda takes it well. Almost back to the quarter line. Bella, a crossfield, charges ahead. Belcher was right on his right shoulder too. Langer, here's Cartwright. 10 metres, Australia's side of halfway. That long ball beautifully picked up now. Belcher, quick hands. Linda's pass has gone loose, but Belcher's done well to clean it up. The party's back there to put him on the deck. 6 to go, says the referee. Penalty, Australia. Well, there's the loose ball. Linda trying to get the quick pass away. A great recovery from Belcher. He's knocked out of his hand, really, by Rapati. Meninga quickly working out what they'll do from the tap. Right on half-time here in Australia's opening match. The 17th Kangaroos, the 4X Kangaroos, bringing the ball up through Bella. Now they gain blindside here. They go one way, then straight down the centre through Sirenen. In a very short blind. Now we're coming to blindside through Cartwright. He'll play it just inside St Helens territory. Open side, Langer. The long passes, the siren goes in the background. The little chip over the top for Daly. Belcher can't get it. It's picked up by Dwyer for St Helens. Now Griffiths, and he's tackled. almost on the halfway line. The referee finally hears the siren, and that is half-time here at Knowsley Road. Australia leading St Helens.
The tries not scored against them early in the part where they're under extreme pressure. The Australian side held out, and he was very impressed with their defence so far. The penalties that were given away, well, he just said you just got to bite the bullet and bear with it. You can appreciate these conditions, and the refereeing over here, well, that's part and parcel of being on a Kangaroo tour.
Benny, that scoreline not really indicative of the effort put in from St Helens.
No, I agree with you totally, Graham. I think player for player in the forwards, they've certainly met the Australian side. I just think the outside backs are just too, they're just over awesome on their outside wide. But as you said, yeah, it doesn't indicate how the intensity of the St Helens side has been so far.
Neil trying to get a ball away. Cooper picked up the drag, straightens into the arms of Cartwright. Connolly, little chip and chase, plenty of room, but he just couldn't get through quick enough. Now the penalty will go against Daly for slight interference on the St Helens fullback. Quick tap restart again by Groves. He caught Australia napping in the first half with that. Now Kevin Ward will play it just outside the 22. John Holsworth has not kept much of a 5-metre rule in the play the ball. Now it's against St Helens for 5 metres. When in possession, the penalty goes to Australia. Paul Groves doesn't even know what's going on with his own English referee. He's stunned by the decision. As I said, John Holsworth is considered the #1 man in England. So maybe we are in some fun and games in these club matches. The sun shining brilliantly here as the shadows start to encroach from this grandstand side. Bella will play at 32 out. Roach. Straight into Kevin Ward. Langer stretches it wide to where Australia have found the advantage in the backs. Meninga couldn't handle it. It'll come back for the scrum. Bobby Lidner followed it through. Again, they're looking for this advantage. Meninga was trying to get their poor pass from Daly. With plenty of enthusiasm from Lidner to force the scrum. Rapati flicks it infield for Connolly. He couldn't handle it. Taken by Hunt. He's caught from behind by Langer. Neil. Harrison standing 2 passes out. Back for Paul Forber. Forber taken just outside his own 22. Groves played well in the first half. Neil taken. George Mann warms up on the sideline for St Helens. Rapati intercepted by Daly. Daly for Eddinghausen. He gets try number 2. So a mistake out in the backs from Rapati. Daly was quick to pounce, and a good ball away for Eddinghausen, who's enjoying this opportunity today in game 1 out on the wing at the expense of Dale Shearer. Rapati on the Just Jeans replay had a look, and Daly, under a little bit of pressure, gets a good ball away for Eddinghausen to dive over in the corner. But it was pressure in defence, especially from Daly on Rapati. The ball was given to him under pressure, and Daly quick enough. And as we know, as far as quick enough goes, that man Eddinghausen has a ton of pace. Given any start on any winger, you're probably not going to stop the try. Quirk was forced off his wing. Just a couple of metres head start. That was enough for Eddinghausen. Meninga from right out on touch, an unhappy start to his goal kicking. 1 from 5, it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay 1 from 6. But that scoreline creeps ahead again, 26-0 to Australia.
What's the worst thing that can happen in a scrum?
Well, you can collapse the scrum.
Yeah?
And there's wheeling the scrum.
Yeah, but the worst thing's tummy rumbling in the scrum.
Tummy rumbling in the scrum, what happens? The whole team gets sent off to McDonald's.
Belcher returns the ball for Australia.
So Australia bringing the ball out through Bella, who ducked under the high tackle of Mann. Now it's Walters. That's a loose pass in that area of the football field. That's not something that would please Bob Fulton. This end of the field is safety first. Daly plays it 12 metres out. Roach. That try really would have given Steve Roach a lot of happiness after the last tour incident here. And there's another loose pass 20 metres out from the Australian line. It's a knock on. The scrum will go down. St Helens will get a chance to go on the attack right down on the Australian line. Here it is again. Just too high for Alan Langer. Gerard Wall, as I might add, was under immense pressure when he threw the pass. Kevin Ward can't get his pass away, but they're 12 metres out. Here's St Helens. Groves, out it comes to Vivers, back on the inside. He runs into Gerard Walters, who puts him down. Just 11 metres out now from the Australian line. Groves thought about the blind side, and coming across at the angle was Shane Cooper, who was buried by Roach and Walters. Groves looks for a runner. It's Neal, 10 metres out. Good defence again from Roach. Open side, a cutout pass. Mann props, gets away from Cartwright. Back it comes to Vivers. Vivers thought about throwing the long pass, then decided to throw that short one to Cooper, who wasn't expecting it. And Australia come up with possession through Sirenen. Well, quickly the ball's got sped across the back line. Here's Magore. Magore up over the halfway. He's got support on the outside, but he flicks it back the inside to Langer. Langer gets it away to Lindner. Lindner flicks it out, almost intercepted by Cooper. Gerard Walters is back there, flicks it out to Meninga. Meninga brushes off one. Meninga takes on Mann on the outside, gets away from him. Away it goes to Eddinghausen, but the touch judge has now said that Meninga went into touch. The referee's ruled it a forward pass anyway.
What a brilliant passage of play.
And here he is, Big Mal Meninga. Yes, great decision from the touch judge, even though the referee had ruled the forward pass anyway. But wasn't that fabulous to watch? Here's St Helens. Griffith almost lost it. Back it comes to Cooper. The pass to Rapati, a bad one. Now it's with Hunt. This man scored 21 tries last year. He was the equal top try scorer for St Helens, just outside his quarter line. Open side. Rapati back in amongst the forwards. He almost lost the ball. The long pass comes away. Vivers again. He also scored 21 tries last year. Mann from dummy half. Out to the quarter line. Neal. Across he comes. Cartwright and Roach are there. Dwyer in a dummy half. Cooper, a little chip over the top. Hancock beautifully read that. He got there very quickly. And look at the strength of the man as well as he drags Cooper on the ground. Lindner, 30 metres out. Almost gets to the quarter line. Cartwright. Cartwright taking it up. Langer's on his outside, but he just can't get his arms free to slip the pass. 20 metres out from St Helens line. Blindside. Roach. Here's Sirenen. Sirenen going straight and hard. He got the pass away in the end, but he can't continue the movement on. Little Gerard Walters it was. Well, that's who I think it is, who's held up only a metre out. And the referee in the end, well, what has he ruled? As Gerard Walters came at Conley, he got away from Conley, and then Cooper and also Hunt were there to prevent Gerard Walters from getting the ball down, and they pushed him back into the field of play.
Well, what he ruled was that Conley had possession there. He gave it to St Helens and then penalised Australia for taking it back.
Well, anyway, they didn't find touch, so Australia are back on the attack. Here's Bobby Lindner. He's made a couple of mistakes in that area, St Helens today as well. Open side, Langer on the quarter line. Daly, Meninga, quick hands to Belcher. Belcher gets it away now. Eddinghausen for the line. Van coming across. Eddinghausen flicks it back inside. There's nobody there. Daly falls on it. He seemed to push Beavers out of the road, but it could well have been legally going for the ball. Crowd didn't like it. Doesn't matter in the end, as Australia still have it. Here's Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen throws a couple of dummies. They had plenty of support on that side of the field. They keep it going. Here's Roach. Roach decides to hold the pass up Cartwright. That looked a forward pass. It's a knock-on in the end as well. And the scrum will go down just outside St Helens line.
Clever skills again from the Australians, although that initial pass from Roach to Cartwright had a touch of forward about it. 6 or 7 metres out from the St Helens line. Cooper goes blindside. 26-0 to the Australians. Hope you're enjoying this Just Jeans Kangaroo Tour exclusively on Channel 10. Try to Australia. Eddinghausen will get a hat-trick. It came again from another St Helens mistake inside their own 22. And a big smile from Eddinghausen on this tour opener that is turning into a real celebration for him. The Just Jeans replay. It was stolen by Langer. He's done it a number of times, and he's noted for it back home. Quick hands from the Australians. The overlap, as it's been all afternoon long, out wide for Eddinghausen. And as I said, Benny Elias, he's known for this back home, Langer, stealing that ball.
From that benefit.
Eddinghausen getting on the end of all that. So 3 tries from Andrew Eddinghausen out on the wing today. Daly has taken over the goal-kicking duties for Australia. An absolute horror. He can afford to smile in game 1. 30-0 Australia over St Helens. So the replacements come out. Forber has left the field. Mark Bailey is out there, and so is Ian Connor in 16. Bailey will be in 14. Belcher. Eddinghausen. Sirinen. Plays it back for Kerrod Walters. Langer. Meninga. Short ball for Belcher. Back for Eddinghausen into the clear. He'll have support outside from Lindner. He couldn't give it to him because Lindner had defence on him. But Steve Roach gets there. Langer can't handle the pass. St Helens come up with it. A chance to bring it back through Rapati. And Hunt. Hunt goes infield. Taken by Mark Magore. The Australians starting to walk away with it. Connor. Taken by Sirinen. Bailey had looked out wide. A very late penalty inside the 5 from John Holsworth. That's been a long time coming against any of the sides. Beavers goes for touch. Paul Groves tries to sneak 10 metres. Cooper. Back for Dwyer. Back for Cooper again. Cooper sights a gap. Got support too from Bailey. Bailey takes on Belcher. Great tackle from the Australian fullback. Groves out of dummy half for George Mann. Back for Groves, the dummy. Tries it a second time. Pushed out for Dwyer. Dwyer got it out there for Connor. Connor's ended up just a couple of metres short. George Mann, Cooper, they go wide. Connolly out for Quirk. Great defence, driving defence. Cooper's knocked. Bob Lindner's got it. So he's going to penalise Lindner for not playing the ball. I thought he was just about free to play on there, Lindner. Now just watch as Quirk is taken in this great tackle from Eddinghausen. The ball comes free. Well, you would have seen if it had continued on that Lindner, I thought, should have been allowed to scoop that ball up.
So here's St Helens. Can they put some points on the board? This is Bailey. Man tries to get out of the defence of Daly. Managed to slip the pass away, though, to Connor. 20 metres out now from the Australian line as they come up the open side again. Cooper. Away it comes to Conley. Conley going away. Conley's got support. Beavers. On it comes to Quirk. And Quirk scores. The crowd will love that. Look at the red and whites. The Saints are happy with that one. I thought young Conley was going to score, but this man did. Quirk really did finish this off well, but when Conley got into this gap, he looked home, but he unselfishly gave it away. Beavers probably hoped that he could score, but he slipped the pass to Quirk, who did.
Fine ball play out wide. We've heard a lot about Connolly. They say that he could be the next Great Britain fullback. He's an under-21 rep. He had plenty of support. Phil Beavers couldn't have the pace to get there. Quirk certainly did. One of the rare opportunities for their men out wide. Connolly showed good timing to join into the line and a good ball away for Beavers. Something at last for St Helens. And in the area where Australia have dominated right throughout the match, and that, of course, is out wide in the back. And Quirk, we didn't get a chance to have a look at that speed of his. Only had to travel a couple of metres.
So here's Bernard Dwyer, who's the new kicker. It looks good off the boot, but into the breeze it blows away. And so Australia leads St Helens by 30 points to 4. Meninga restarts the play, looking into the sun. Did that ball bounce in the field of play and then out into touch? The touch judge says so. A couple of the St Helens players weren't sure. That looks very awkward over in that corner. Mann was looking up into the sun. He lost the ball completely, but the touch judge didn't. As St Helens come up with the ball. St Helens through Dwyer, just outside their own line. Neal from dummy half decides to try and pinch a few metres. Did well to shrug off Bob Lindner, who's struggling back in a position just for a moment. This is Connor, almost to the quarter line. St Helens trying to spread the ball again. Cooper was back there. Here he is again. Got under a high tackle from Steve Roach, the Kiwi international. Groves, the kick from Rapati, looking for touch. Belcher coming across, should prevent it from getting into touch, but would never have made it anyway. Belcher, away to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen running across field. Man comes at him and takes him superbly. Gee, the crowd would like that. Eddinghausen slow to his feet, but deliberately. Here it is again. Just saw it as Man came in and went bang. The one thing that must strongly go through the mind at the moment is how do you drop a player who scores 3 tries in a match? Eddinghausen may well have pinched Dale Shearer's test jumper for the time being. Out wide, it comes to Vevers. Vevers back inside. Away it comes to Ward. Ward down the centre. Got away from Cartwright, who did well to grab him by the legs and put him down. 15 metres out. Is this a St Helens revival? Out it comes, quick hands again. This is Rapati, taken well, ball and all. The ball's gone loose off Bailey. McGaw tried to pick it up, knocked it on, said the referee. And so a scrum will go down about 6 metres out from the Australian line. Sloppy play, and there it is. Just went through Mark McGaw's hands.
Well, that should have been an advantage played to Australia. In fact, they've given St Helens the feed, so I can't understand the ruling from John Holsworth there. No advantage at all for McGaw. Groves just flicked it out the back for anybody, through the legs of Man. Now Alan Hunt straightens. There was a huge gap for him. It was closed in time by Belcher. Kevin Ward starting to get some fire in him. McGaw finishes off Groves. A mini revival, if anything, at the moment. He's going to penalise Paul Groves for not playing it properly, I think. The crowd thought he had stolen a try from a metre out. Just try and see if he plays the ball properly here in trying to sneak across. Well, yeah, somebody grab that spectator for us, will you? This is another view of it. Didn't really release the ball at all. So Australia survived that one. Their defence has been strong throughout. Hancock shepherding against the Australians. Somebody's also had something to say. Back they go 10 metres, and off goes Groves. Dwyer, Kevin Ward, getting a lot more involved. Touched and knocked on. And also Brad Mackay will replace Lidner, just waiting for a second call. The touch judge is trying to get the referee's attention. John Holsworth on the other side of the field. But the substitutes, well, now John Holsworth sees his fellow touch judge. So Mackay for Lidner and Lazarus for maybe one of the front rowers. It looks like Steve Roach. Bob Fulton might also be keen to rest Roach now that he's had an exchange with Neil. He mightn't want anything to happen late in this game. The crowd getting unhappy with this long pause in play. Chris Johns has gone sideline. So Australia will be making a whole heap of replacements. Connolly makes it to 11 metres out as Roach leaves the field. 30 points to 4, Australia over St Helens.
And St Helens with it down on their own line as Mann brings it up. And would you believe it that Chris Johns is now running around the back of the field to try and get on the field and knock on from St Helens. There he is. He started on one side of the field. He's gone round the back behind the in-goal area. Now he's gone to the far touch judge to try and get on.
Now he can't help him get on.
Chris Johns trying to get on. Alan Langer says, hold on a second, I won't put this ball on until Chris gets on. Michael Hancock comes on. Chris Johns comes off, I should say. Chris Johns comes on. Bronco for Bronco. And that must be against an Australian hand in the scrum. Now the signal's more clear. Against Australia for back chatting. March 10 metres. St Helens through Vivas, kicking for touch. Back towards the halfway line. Bailey to Mann. Mann comes at Daly, does well. Got away, but Daly came again and crunched him into the ground with the help of Mackay. 10 metres St Helens side of halfway. Here's Connor. Groves. Gee, hasn't he had a mighty game for St Helens? And this fellow hasn't stopped trying either. Neil, just inside St Helens territory. Cooper. Crossfield. He finds Rapati. Rapati taken by Walters and also Lazarus. Still the referee hasn't called hell. Groves. Vivas. Bailey. Ward out amongst the backs. Comes back on the inside. Sirinen comes at him. Got the pass to Vivas. On it went to Conley. That looked forward as Conley gets to the halfway line. Conley on the outside of Eddinghausen. Back inside to Quirk. Quirk with a quarter line. Quirk puts the kick in. Belcher under no real pressure. Gets it back into the field of play with a real touch of class. It wasn't that good to watch the way Conley came bursting into the line to give Quirk a shot at scoring his second try. Mackay just out from the Australian line. Lazarus takes it up. First touch since he's been on the field. Cartwright goes straight at Cooper. Goes straight through. Can't get that pass away to Langer. Incorrect play of the football against Cartwright. Well, there's one thing I've got to say about Mr. Holsworth. He is very inconsistent in that area. Neil takes it ahead. Can face the wrong goal line, but you can't kneel down. Groves. This is Mann. Mann's almost through. Back it comes to Groves, the busy little hooker. He's been everywhere. Finds Vivas. Vivas throws it. This time it's Ward. Ward straightens up. Bella's there. 20 metres out from the Australian line. Cooper goes straight down the centre. 13 metres out, right in front of the Australian goalpost. Dwyer wasn't sure. Well, he didn't quite know what was on, did he? Nor did anyone else. He almost snuck through. Little knock on in there, I think the referees ruled. The scrum will go down just 10 metres out from the Australian goalposts. Greg Alexander stretching to come on. The whiz kid who had such an outstanding final series and had such a good tour in 1986, playing mainly for the midweek team. And Langer comes off and Greg Alexander comes on for Australia. And the crowd very appreciative in their applause of this little man, Alan Langer. They're probably just as hopeful that they're going to see some skills, some gifted skills from the man who's replaced him. Back to the quarter line comes Lazarus. Lazarus did well, and a good tackle, two over the top. Bailey very much involved in that along with Mann. Bella takes it up strongly. Just outside the quarter line. Daly under pressure from Bailey, but he's still got his kick in, and it's a monumental kick. The touch judges come on. Something happened after Daly put his kick in. He was certainly tackled, but I'm not sure what happened after that. The touch judges in and the crowd roared, so I can only think that Daly must have retaliated.
Well, I think that's going to go against St Helens, but I don't believe there was much in it. He was certainly entitled to put as much pressure as he wanted to. There was very little in that against Mark Bailey. Really was a tough call by the touch judge.
Well, if that's all it was for, that's stupid, because that was what I saw, and when the crowd roared, I must admit I thought Daly must have been retaliating. It's going to be a penalty to Australia, right down the other end of the park where Conley took that ball. Bailey, the offender.
Australia now. Walters for Alexander. Belcher. Daly, good hands. McGaw likewise for Chris Johns. But the pass has been ruled forward by Holdsworth. So on the first tackle, it comes apart for Australia as again they show their great hands out wide. Daly and McGaw took the tackle, leapt into the tackle to unload out wide for Johns. Bailey. Taken by Daly and forced back 9 metres out from his own line. So a very impressive start, Ben, for Australia. Well, some problem sideline with Ben Elias. We'll try and get back to him. Sirenen struggles with Connor. Now Neal, taken by Lazarus. Kevin Ward, a stronger second half from him. Groves hasn't stopped trying. Quirk, Eddinghausen and Meninga throw him into a line of photographers. Somebody should get danger money down there. It's a very short sideline to the crowd here at Knowsley Road. Just look out here for one of the photographers. Crash. There's a whole wall of them there. The crowd showing their support. Haggerty takes the field, and Jonathan Neal has played strongly in the front row. He takes his seat on the bench, picked up beautifully by Daly. Belcher, great timing. They mightn't get Belcher, they do. One-on-one, the two fullbacks. Mackay. About 8 metres out. Alexander, Lazarus got it away as he was falling. Floated out for Eddinghausen to try and get to the corner again. Eddinghausen is into touch. Well, he looked to take the corner post, more so than going into touch. The replay, well, the touch judge said he took the sideline. I thought it was the corner post. St Helens through Dwyer. Come away. Bobby Fulton looking comfortable with his first up match. 30 points to 4. Remember back, I mentioned earlier at the start of this match, 32 to 8 4 years ago, the 86 Kangaroos. A similar scoreline here against St Helens. We've only added 8 points since half-time, Australia. Kevin Ward. Nearly broke the line. He was looking for support. Dwyer. Little chip ahead, but Alexander's waiting. Look at that acceleration. He's got Meninga inside. Meninga's going to come back to Knowsley Road with a double on game 1 of the Kangaroo Tour. But Greg Alexander, the speed that he showed, Meninga just bleeding from a slight cut. The little chip ahead, the Just G's replay, Alexander was there waiting, just watching put the foot down here. Round the outside of Quirk, back in field for Meninga, and Meninga easily got across the line. Quirk tried to make up some lost territory, but that's difficult to make on a man like Alexander, and also a man like Meninga that close to the line. Not a good day for Meninga try-scoring, goal-kicking wise, I should say, but he gets a double as skipper of the Kangaroos, leading the way today in the tour opener.
Now Meninga scores the try. There he is, blood pouring from the left eye. And Greg Alexander becomes Australia's 3rd goal kicker, and he too misses. Well, it's almost Parks revisited. Australia leads St Helens 34 points to 4. He hasn't been good, but I don't think that's really going to worry Bob Fulton too much.
No, it's not a major concern at this moment. I think you have to be very happy with everybody that's taken the field. The 17 players have been very impressive, and an overall performance by Australia's probably been very hopeful in Bobby Fulton's eyes.
Well, on Thursday night in Sydney, Australia takes on Wakefield Trinity. Benny, you'll be captaining that side. How's it been training?
Well, we've been training very well. You know, it's been a very hard week for us right throughout for the whole 28 players, but our preparation's been first class.
And you can see that game exclusive on 10 on Thursday night, and then, of course, next Monday night, one of the real glamour club matches of the tour when Australia takes on Wigan. All exclusive, of course, to the 10 network, as Alexander brings it up, quick hands to Daly, on it goes to Meninga, but the pass was just a little bit below Andrew Eddinghausen's hands. Eddinghausen smiles. He was almost set for try number 4. Here's Daly, Meninga, you'll see it just in front of Eddinghausen, otherwise it would have been number 4. So Andrew Eddinghausen will be very happy with his performance today. Bailey, Cooper on the run around. Conley taken by Meninga. As now it comes to Rapati, back towards the centre of the field. Stands, delivers to Vivers. Vivers to the halfway. Conley's up okay after being creamed by Meninga. And now, St Helens, well, in fact, this has been one trait about the game that we have to comment on. Benny, there's hardly been an injury in the match.
No, it's a credit to both sides' fitness. You know, I think both sides are very fit at this time of the year, and I think that's a result of the limited injuries on the field today, Dave.
That's Vivers down tackle, who's down receiving the attention. He came back on the inside. Johns went low. And here's Mark McGaw, one of the best defenders in the game over the top. And I think he might have just got accidental knees in the back. There was certainly nothing malicious in the tackle. As he gets up to play the ball. And here's Connor, who came on as the replacement just into the second half. Australia convincing winners in this opening tour match, which will certainly give them a lot of heart. Cartwright and Alexander involved in the tackle on Mann, who plays it forward. Alexander's offside. The referee says play on, as Haggerty has taken ball and all by Lazarus, but he flicked it out the back. He's got the ball away a couple of times as Kevin Ward takes it back to the halfway. Cartwright and Walters provide plenty of attention. Bailey looks for support. Vivers, well, he certainly recovered well enough. Here's Mann. Mann down the centre, he's got support. Haggerty gets gets it away. This is Groves. He pushes Dwyer away. Back to Vivers. Vivers went looking on the outside for his winger Quirk, but he's not there. Quirk comes in to assist him as Ettinghausen started to push him towards that touchline on the quarter line. Last tackle against St Helens. Cooper. Cooper comes back on the inside and taken well, ball and all by Brad Mackay. And that is the first handover of the match. Only a few minutes to go. Australia's opening match of this 17th Kangaroo Just Jeans Tour. 34-4. Alexander, Daly. Almost got the pass away, but the referee's going to rule obstruction, I think. Yes. They're very keen on that rule over here. Benny, aren't they? In 86, there were a lot of problems with the obstruction rule.
Yes, they certainly are, and I just wish it to go both ways.
Fair comment. St Helens down on their quarter line. Cooper, long pass. Bailey, here's man. Oh, pushed Alexander out of the road as if he wasn't there. Back to Vivers. Vivers finds Haggerty coming down the centre. And the real hard man of St Helens got it away to Conley, who's gone without it. Loose ball scrum to go down just outside the quarter line. Here it is again. Ball coming back to Conley, who really did find his confidence in this second half. Penalty goes Australia's way. Dwyer must stay in the scrum until the ball comes out. That's what he's ruled. Pointing to his head. Bernard Dwyer runs back to position. The Australians to kick for touch in the closing moments of this opening tour match. The 4X Kangaroos coming away with a good win, and I dare say a fair bit of the sponsors' product will be freely consumed this evening. Bella takes it up. And what a job it is to choose the Just Jeans man of the match. There's been so many stars in this side for Australia today. Walters, Lazarus. Lazarus throws the dummy, goes on his own. Just inside St Helens territory. Australia keen to put on another one. He didn't play that very well. Alexander, here's Cartwright. Cartwright can't get the pass away. He's held up well. Gee, the St Helens team have done their homework on him. As the siren goes in the background, and the end of a very entertaining opening match with the Just Jeans.